Hey guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm bringing back suggestions. And if you don't know what suggestions is, or if this is your first video of watching me or whatever, basically I asked you guys to go to my Instagram page, follow me there if you're not already, and just go ahead and whenever I do like my little Instagram story, you send me a DM, tell me your scenario, and then I will respond in my video and give me a suggestion. And like I always say, take it or leave it, but at the end of the day, you can't blame me because it's just a suggestion, okay? Okay, so I want to thank you guys because you guys sent in some very good questions. Some of them are a little petty and some of them are a little like, girl, please get it together. But these were pretty, I just spit all over the place. These were some pretty good questions. Now, the first one I want to discuss though, one of my homeboys, he sent me, it wasn't really a suggestion, but he asked me to quickly cover what I think about this video that's going around. And it's the whole mom in the front seat, husband's making the wife sit in the back whole debacle. And if you haven't seen it, I'll just play a quick clip right here or somewhere on the screen so that you know what I'm talking about.
Here, like why she in the front seat? And I get that that's your mom and everything, but like you going to the back, right?
No, absolutely not.
Why? What are you talking about? I'm your wife. Are you serious right now?
Okay, calm down.
We gotta keep having these type of conversations. Every time I link up with your mother, is always a problem. I'm in his life now, so why are you still here?
I'm always gonna be
okay,
here.
but go to the back fucking seat.
So there's been a huge debate on Twitter, who comes first, my wife or my mom? Now I just want to point out, for some reason there's never a discussion, and I also said this on my Twitter, there's never a discussion about who comes first, my husband or my dad. Never. But you know, I'm gonna let you come to whatever conclusion you have. Now, this is just my opinion. Everybody's different. Also, if this is your first video, I am a Christian, so a lot of my suggestions and advice will be biblical. I'm not gonna beat anyone over the head with the Bible because I am also a normal person who struggles with the same things that you do. And just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I succeed at all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, one day when y'all hear my testimonies, whew. So this is how I feel about husbands putting their mothers before their wives. Now, we're not talking about boyfriends putting their girlfriends before their moms or boyfriends putting their baby mama before their mom. I'm talking about a husband, a wife, and a mom, a mother. First of all, I don't agree at all. And I was so disappointed to see how many men on Twitter were agreeing and saying, oh, my mama's my queen. She always gonna come first. And if my wife don't agree with that, then she's not the one for me. Now, let me tell you something. My husband, my future husband, if I don't come first, we're not even talking about who comes first, the kids or the wife. That's a conversation for another day. But when it comes between my husband, myself, and his mother, if he's not putting me first, there is a problem. Now, obviously, that video that we're talking about, I feel like, first of all, I think it was a skit, but it did bring up some very good conversation. And I do think it's something that should be spoken about or observed before you guys get married, anyone gets married. My eyelash is coming off. Come on, stick with me. Stick with me. The thing is, if my husband rolls up and his mom is in the front seat, I will jump in the back. I'm not gonna be like, excuse me, Miss Bertha, you gotta hop in the back. Like, I'm not going to say that. I will go in the back seat. But there's also different layers to peel off. So let's peel off some of these layers really quick. So first of all, what I think was the problem in that video, that skit, real life, whatever, is clearly the husband's mom and the wife have previous issues. They have prior issues. So it wasn't just like, oh, me and mom are good, but he rolls up with her in the front seat and now I'm upset. Like, you can tell there's previous issues. There's some control issues there. There's some attachment issues there. And the wife is fed up at this point. I just think there's a problem with mothers who are okay with their son putting them before their wives. Huge issue. I think also that a lot of mothers who do allow their son or who do like have those control issues or attachment issues to their son over their wife and they don't respect those boundaries, I personally think a lot of them are trying to replace their son with the husband that left, the baby daddy that didn't stay, the cheating, whatever. They're trying to use their son for different pleasures. Obviously not anything physical, But if there's a mother and she has a great relationship with her husband, she's not gonna be up her son's butt and like, yeah, I'm your queen, son. Your wife comes second. Like, she has her own man to be worried about. So I honestly think that there's a problem with the mother first, because I know if I have a son and he's putting me before his wife, I'm slapping the crap out of him. Like, no, sir. First of all, I got me a man, okay? I'm breastfeeding somebody else now. I ain't breastfeeding you no more, you know what I'm saying? So cut it out and go to your wife, whatever. I also feel like my future husband, like I said, not a huge deal if she's sitting in the front seat, but like with my mom, I'll just use a real life example. With my mom, if she's riding in the front seat and we're gonna go pick up his wife, when we get to the destination, she'll get out the car and go to the back. Because it's just like, okay, go ahead. She's not gonna be like, hey girl, yeah, scooch back in there, and sorry, my shoes are back there, just sit tight. Like, I feel like know your place. Now, if your mom is disabled and you're picking her up from the hospital and she uses a cane and all that stuff, I'm not saying like, oh, get out. If you're, you know, and there's obviously different situations. Let's not bring it to the extreme. Like, oh, if my mom is sick, I'm obviously gonna go tend to her and leave my wife at home because my wife can take care of herself. There's obviously different situations, but in a regular everyday life, I feel, my opinion is a husband should put his wife first. And if I also feel like if a husband sees that his mother and his wife have issues, he needs to step in and try to fix it up. But at the end of the day, as a husband, if your mom is mistreating your wife and she's the one in the wrong, a man should be man enough to say something to his mom and not just be like, oh, I'm staying out of it. I don't want nothing to do with this. I cannot stand a I'm staying out of it type of man. Like, you know you're not staying out of it. If your mother is wrong, say something. If I'm wrong, tell me something when we get in the car. Tell me something when we get home. That's just my thing on that. Now, I did also see some people saying like dating a mama's boy is the worst, blah, blah, blah. Now, I will also say from experience, he might be upset that I say, I don't know, but facts are facts. I'm definitely dating a mama's boy. That man loves his mama to death and she loves him to death and they're very close and blah, blah, blah. But the reason for me why it's not a problem is because God bless his mother, because they're very close and you know they spend time together, they watch movies together, whatever. But she takes it upon herself, not that she owes me anything. I'm not my boyfriend's wife. But like, she'll be like, all right, you like if I come over, like, all right, you two have fun. Or like, all right, yeah, she'll hang out with us, but there's times where she'll be like, all right, y'all do you, I'm gonna head out, whatever. And when they're alone, they do their thing, but when I come around, again, like I'm saying, she doesn't have to leave. I'm not his wife. And right now, if he picks his mom over me, I'm just his girlfriend. If at any point before you get married, you see that it's a problem and you speak to him and he doesn't fix it, or you can see it becoming a bigger problem later, you might not want to get married to this man. Any man that you see says, I'm putting my mom over you, over my wife, huge problem, huge red flag, huge no, hell nah, I'm not doing it, period. No, and no again, okay? So, glad we got that out of the way. Now, obviously you guys can leave your comments and your rebuttals and your discussions down below. And something I hate about talking about things like this without writing it down is that usually when I'm editing, I'll be like, dang, I missed a point, or dang this, dang that. So just know, everything I'm saying now, I might be missing some thoughts. Sometimes I might go back and be like, maybe I don't fully agree, but whatever. But I'll be responding in the comments, whatever. Tell me how you guys feel. If you're a girlfriend or a wife and you're okay with your husband putting his mom first, that's, you know, let me know. If there's any wives in here who put their dad before their husband, okay. And like I said, I'm not talking about sickness. Like if my daddy is sick, I'm going to be like, and I'm the only one he has, my mom is somehow sick too or not here anymore, you know, I'm gonna make sure I try to keep a little bit of balance to make sure my daddy doesn't croak off and die and fall off the face of the earth while my husband is over here doing his thing. But I'm not gonna, when I get married, my husband is going to come above my parents, period. Like, oh, this is something I also wanted to say. All you men who are saying, oh, my mom is my queen, she comes first, blah, blah, blah. Just know that, especially if your mom is single, when she gets her new man, you are gonna get pushed to the side, especially if you're an adult, if you're a grown man. Like I said, the whole putting my babies first thing, I have my own opinion on that too, but that's for another day, because I don't have kids right now. Yeah, so all you men who are putting my mama comes first, when your mom gets a new man, or when your mom wants to hang out with her husband, Bye, son. See you later. Gotta go. It's like that one movie, Think Like a Man. You know, the mama's boy, Terrence J, his mom and him are so close. She didn't like any of the girls that came to the house because that's my baby. But when she started messing with that reverend, she was like, no, go get up out of here, baby. You go find some friends. Mama's busy. So keep that in mind, okay? Your wife is the person you're coming home to every day. You're sleeping in bed with your wife. You're waking up next to your wife. Your wife is cooking for you. She's probably cleaning your drawers and all this stuff. Your mom, she did her part, but that was your mom. She's supposed to do that stuff for you. But once you get married, y'all two become one. You put the childish ways behind you. Mama's not number one no more. Glad we got that out of the way. Now let's get into the questions that you guys sent me to my Instagram. Yes, love this. Okay, let's just start with this one. So I'm a follower of Christ and recently started really digging into my faith. I have been in a relationship for almost 2 years and my boyfriend isn't much of a believer. He believes in God, but not so much in Jesus. All right. I've been praying to God if this is the relationship he wants for me because we've been talking about marriage and kids. My question is, what are some signs that I should be looking for? Because I've been feeling like I'm blinded by love. Okay, so like I said, I am a believer, so a lot of my advice will be, you know, from what I've learned growing up and from my personal relationship with Christ. But from what I know, it's unfortunate that you're already in this relationship and then you became a Christian. Now, if you were married and you both were unsaved and then later on you got saved and he wasn't, you would have to figure that out and work it out because you're already married. Right now, you're not married. Okay, you can leave and allow him to figure himself out. So here's the thing, this very well could be the relationship that God wants for you, but it's not going to work if you two are unequally yoked. It's just not going to work right now. If you guys break up and then he gets saved on his own and forms his own relationship with Christ, then bravo, that's amazing, that's wonderful. But the likelihood of this working out and him not dragging you back into like worldly things is a lot more likely than this working out and you bringing him to the light. It does happen, but I just personally think that if you're on a new journey and you're not the same person that you used to be when you guys first got together, it's probably not going to work, especially if you're both not on the same page anymore. So, and if you're saying you think you might be blinded by love, most of the times, then you may already know your answer. And I know it's hard to walk away from something. I know it's hard to all of a sudden be alone, especially if he's a good guy. He didn't do anything wrong. He treats you right, all this other stuff. But if you're really going to make your priority, your relationship with Jesus Christ a priority, then you're going to have to leave some of your old ways behind. I don't know, you just never really want to force anyone to make that type of decision for you. You want to make sure he's really genuinely making it for himself. So that's my suggestion on that. Ooh, I need some water. My mouth is getting dry. Okay, I've been with this guy. He's a Libra. I don't know why that's important to me. It's not really. Whenever people ask me like, oh, what are you? I'm like, I'm Capricorn. Oh, what is your boyfriend? Like, I have no idea what his sign is, and I don't pay attention to that stuff. Whatever. All right, and we've been together for almost a year now. He's a good guy. He's there to listen to my problems and help me with my issues that I may have within myself. Very nice. But with that being said, oh, just kidding. While being with him, I realized a lot about relationships. They're not all cakes and rainbows. Facts. Huge facts. I've also realized a lot about myself and have even considered getting therapy because of him. My question is, he has a different way of thinking and I want to know whether or not I'm wrong in the way that I feel. He's not the type of person who puts emphasis on material things, and neither am I. But sometimes I be wanting the nice gestures like the flowers for no reason and the romantic dates. Some of these things he says are cheesy, but I don't think they are. Well, I don't think they are. And he says he wants to be the man I deserve. Okay. And he says he wants to be the man I deserve and the man that this relationship needs. But I'm like, I need to feel appreciated. I met him when he had no job, and I've helped him get back on his feet. I've gotten him just because gifts like a PS4, some sneakers, gold jewelry. He's never asked for those things, but that's the type of person that I am. I've been wanting that same energy in return, but I haven't received it. I brought the issue up to him, and he says he never said that he wouldn't do those things for me, but I'm growing impatient, And he never said he wouldn't do, I can't read. And he never said he wouldn't do those things for me, but I'm growing impatient. He says he does, but I want to see action behind what he says. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Should I drop him like a bad habit or be appreciative that he shows me support in his own way? Ooh, girl, my mouth is dry. Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like there's things that you both are gonna have to adjust here. First of all, I think you both should take the love language quiz. Some people don't believe in that, but I do think it's a helpful tool to at least, shape both of your ideas in the way that they need to be formed. So it seems that your love language might be receiving gifts, and his love language might be something else. Now, the thing with that is if your love language is receiving gifts, so you shower him with gifts because you're hoping that that's how he feels loved, since that's how you feel loved, or you're hoping that, he'll see like, oh, she's buying me something, I'll buy her something in return. That's not gonna work. I'm sure he appreciates like the PS4, the watch, the jewelry, the shoes, but that might not even be a way that makes him feel loved. His love language might be quality time, like you guys just spending time together at home watching a movie or something like that. So you have to make sure that you're loving him in the way that he wants to be loved, instead of just being like, well, I like gifts, so I'm gonna buy him gifts. He might not care for gifts at all, which it sounds like he doesn't because he's not into material things. Also, you have to make sure that the things that you do for him, you're doing it because you love him and not necessarily like holding it against him and like making a track record like, oh, well, I bought him shoes, I bought him a PS4, gold chain, this, that, and the third, and he ain't got me nothing. Like, did you get it from the goodness of your heart because you want him to be happy? Or you got it so you can be like, well, where's my stuff now? Like, hello? So that's where you need to work on. As far as what he needs to work on, he may be, I don't know anything about him, he didn't give me too much information, but what he does need to understand is that if your love language is receiving gifts, if he is able, I don't know if he has a job, you said you met him when he had no job and he's getting on his feet. I don't know, that man might be trying to save up for a ring right now, I might be trying to save up for a house for your future. But I do think it's important that if he knows that things like those are important to you, even just some flowers for no reason, I do think it's something that he should take into consideration and throw you a bone. Like, dang, get the girl a flower every now and then, like once a month. I know some girls who get flowers every Tuesday. Like, maybe you guys will get there later, and I would love me some flowers every Tuesday, but I don't need them. I don't think it's necessary. But if all you're asking for is some flowers, he can get you some flowers. If that's one of the ways that you feel loved, then he can do that for you. Some guys are also the types to think like, oh, I don't know if you guys live together, but some guys think like, oh, I'm paying the bills and there's food on the table, so like that's love. But like that's not how everyone receives love. So you both have some things to work on. I don't think it's anything to break up over. I do think it's something you should let him know, like, these things are important to me. It's not about superficial. I'm not asking for a Louis Vuitton bag or whatever, but I just want small things of appreciation, like maybe a little note. Leave me a note before you go to work, or send me a cute text message, or small things like that, because those are still gifts. It's something you're receiving. I think that you both need to do a little give and take on that situation, but I don't think it's anything you guys should break up over. I really don't. Whew, all right. Hey Jess, my best friend's boyfriend / baby daddy is disrespectful. Well, at least that's what I think. So here's what's going on. We see him walking around with other girls, cheating, in quotations, all the time. Street corners, you'll find him there, and when I tell my friend, she confronts him, and it turns into a huge argument. And when they do break up, she ends up being mad at us, her friends. We don't want to lose her as a friend, but we also don't want to see her get hurt. Please help. Okay, so I've never had a friend like this, but I know that there are girls out there who get mad at their friends when their friends are trying to help them and tell them that their boyfriend is trash. They're like, oh, you don't know what my guy do, and you don't understand, you're not in this situation, you just want me to be single like you, I don't want to be alone. Sometimes you really have to let your friends figure it out on their own. You do what you have to do, like you said, you've told her, you're trying to be there for her, but sometimes you gotta let your friends fall on their face on their own, and then they'll come around and realize, like, dang, they were right. But you can't force her to do something that she doesn't want to do. You've been a good friend, and I know you don't want to lose your friend, but continuing to like push her away from someone, you're gonna lose her anyways. So either way, I feel like it's good that you tried and you did your part, but sometimes you just have to say something to someone and then let them be the adults and make their own life choice. Now I mean that to a certain extent. If he's like beating her and she's like, oh, I'm staying, you're like, oh, all right, so wanna go for some sushi? You know, it depends on the extremity of the situation. But if he's cheating on her and she wants to stay and she's like allowing him to lie to her and be like, guys, well, he said he didn't do it, there's nothing more you can do. There's nothing more you can do. All right, ever since I got a lead position, some of my coworkers have been acting funny, which is weird because they were the ones who wanted to see me in that position in the first place. But they still talk to me on the regular. Should I keep up the niceness or just cut them off? By the way, it ain't no problem to cut them off, come on. But I've been working with them for 3+ years, so we got history. All right, so there's a funny thing about people when they see other people doing better than them, you know? It's like, this is a small example. Like my brother and my sister-in-law, they started social media like maybe 2 years after me, and like all of a sudden on their Instagram, they started getting all these followers, and I started checking their page every day. I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be the celebrity in this family. Like I'm the one who's, you know, obviously I'm not a celebrity, but I'm like, dang, you know, like they starting to start popping a little bit. And you know, of course the whole way I'm like, oh, you guys are doing so good. You know, I love it, you know, the content looks good, blah, blah, blah. And then they made this TikTok video and they blew up. Like the Shade Room posted them, E! News posted them, Oprah posted them, Beyonce's mom posted them, and they got all these followers in like a week. And then I'm like, dang, they about to pass me. Actually, you know what, let's check right now. They probably have passed me. Not yet, they're 1,000 off. But do you see what, like, why did I smile about that? All jokes aside, I totally support them, and I know for a fact they're gonna pass me in like a week. There's something about people supporting your dreams until you blow up and all of a sudden they're like, I guess. It's like, dang, why aren't you happy for me? Isn't this what you wanted from me? Like, what's going on? Look, you're their boss now, or at least you're their supervisor, wait, what did you say you was? I forgot. You're a lead position, which means you're up here, you're just a little bit higher than them now. So if you gotta put on your boss hat and take off your friend hat, then that's what you need to do. This is your job, and obviously they're not your real friends anyways. Most coworkers are not real friends in the first place. Some are good, but most of them are not, and they actually probably just want the position you want or the position you had. They probably thought that once you got into the lead position that it was going to be a big fun party, they could do whatever they wanted, and as soon as you had to maybe crack down, there was like, oh, she's switching up. But it takes nothing to have a conversation. I wouldn't say cut them off. Like, you guys have to be cordial, you're working together. But if a conversation needs to be had in your professional business attire, then you do that, because this is your position now. So you handle that in a professional manner. Like, it is what it is. You're getting the bag, and don't let nobody drag you down, my good sis. Okay, so this is something so hard to say, but I would love to hear your advice. My adopted parents are white, and I'm black, obviously, and they don't support Black Lives Matter. And yes, girl, they are pro-Trump. Makes me sick. Blech. Same. I feel so isolated. We don't talk anymore since George Floyd's passing, and after I went protesting. Send help. That's a very tough one, and it's really hard for me to even really give you advice on this because I don't have any experience. I have a little bit, I'll tell you the experience I do have, but I don't have much experience because I'm not adopted and my parents are black. So this is something really hard because I know everyone wants to have a great relationship with their parents. You may have had a great relationship with them up to this point and things now may be a little tense, but you know, I don't know if you guys have ever had a conversation and pose it like, why don't you guys support Black Lives Matter? Does my life not matter? Like, I'm your daughter, whether blood or not, you adopted me, I'm your child, and I'm black. So are you saying if a cop puts their knee on my neck, that you're not gonna be out there protesting? Or are you, if a cop puts their knee on my neck and I die, are you gonna tell me that it was my fault and that the cop had every right? Or are you gonna ask questions like, oh, well, what did she do for the cop to do that? He must have had a reason. Like, I definitely think there needs to be a conversation, but I will say, my dad, this is embarrassing, but my dad is a Trump supporter. There's something about conservative Jamaicans, I don't know why they like Trump so much, because I know a lot of my friends' dads, my Jamaican friends' dads, they like Trump. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I don't get it, but that doesn't affect our relationship. We do have some debates at dinner sometimes, but since my whole family looks at my dad like Like, what are you talking about? We all just continuously roast him, but he stands firm. I don't think he's a citizen, so he can't vote anyway, so his vote don't even matter. But anyways, definitely a conversation needs to be had, and this is something that's hard to look over. It's like, you know, when you're dating someone, oh, I love you, but I don't support this Black Lives Matter movement. It's like, if you don't support the movement, and you don't support me. So it sucks. I'm not a fan of cutting people off or cutting things off. Obviously, distance has to happen, and I know that it sucks because we need that love and support from our parents. I can't imagine what you're going through, but you know, it raises some eyebrows and it raises some questions. Like, why did you adopt me? Like, why did you adopt me, a Black child? Like, you could have adopted a white child. Like, are you guys racist? What is gonna happen if I wanted to bring home my Black husband? Are you guys going to profile him? Like, there's not much advice I could give you except for, you know, try to have a conversation and try to, if you haven't already, and try to have them see your point of view on why this is so important to you and why it means something to you and your Blackness and your Black skin. They're never going to understand what it's like to be you and what it's like to be Black in America. I think some educating needs to be happening in your household. Sometimes you just have to be like, you know what, if this is the position you guys take, I love y'all so much, but I'd have to remove myself from this situation. If you can't afford to move out, or if you moved out already, whatever, like, just be cordial, but that's something huge. You can't just ignore that and be like, oh, well, we just don't talk about it, but everything else is fine, because you can't scrape your skin off, you know, like, that's always gonna be there. I'll be praying for you, because I have no idea. I couldn't imagine. All right, this one's gonna be really quick because I don't even know what you got going on. So, hey Jess, there's this guy I'm really into, but at times I'm wondering if he's into me. I really have strong feelings for him, but in the past, he did say some shady things. Though I forgave him, I just can't forget. So what should I do? Should I drop him or keep moving forward with the relationship? Anyway, so, and she said, P.S. shady things involving like cheating or saying he loved another woman, breaking up, then getting back together, etc., etc. Also, I would like to remain nameless. Of course, girl, I got you. Also, I would like to add, we're a boyfriend and girlfriend and supposed to be a committed relationship, and it's long distance. Girl, are you sure you got your boyfriend and girlfriend? Because it sounds like you said this guy I'm really into, but I'm wondering if he's into me. And you got your boyfriend and girlfriend? Huh? No. My list is, no, you got this. This is not even, I don't really feel like I need to explain too much. And I think you know the answer to, you guys should probably break up. A lot of the times, and I've been guilty of this, we stay in really bad situations because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to go back to having no one to talk to. We don't want to go back to being single again and having to start back in the dating pool. But if you're ever with someone and you're not sure if they like you, then they probably don't, because men are natural, or is it hunters, or like they're natural, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't remember the word I'm looking for, but men go after what they want. And when a man wants you, you're gonna know, period. There should never be a question mark, because if you're not sure if he wants you, it's probably because he's not sure if he wants you, or because he doesn't want you. So that, he's gone. Another one. So my boyfriend keeps on telling me to pick him or my boy best friend. Even though everything is simply platonic and we've been friends for almost 5 years, what should I do? And I really wish that my boyfriend was here to talk about this right now, because I really would just love a guy's perspective on this, but let's see if I can get a special guest. I'm gonna FaceTime my brother and see if he answers. Hi!
What's good?
So I'm recording a video right now. I'm doing my suggestions video, and I thought it would be nice to have a special guest for the question I'm about to ask, or that was asked. I want to get a man's perspective. Do you have a second? Great, okay, hold on. So the question was, this girl is dating her boyfriend, and the boyfriend is saying you have to choose me, or it's either me or your man best. She has a best friend that's a guy. So her boyfriend's like, it's either me or him. And she's like, me and my guy best friend, we've been friends for 5 years, and it's strictly platonic. What would you tell her? Wait, let me get close to the camera.
What it do, baby?
Hold on. Wait, let me get the camera focused. You're not focused at all.
I need you to tighten up, though.
Oh, that's so ugly. Okay, well, you can say what you want to say anyways.
Well, okay, well, here we are. First of all, yo, what's going on? Only one Jess, all her followers, let's pop it, baby. What's good? So, I mean, there's a lot of variables that actually go into this question. It's not really like an easy, like, hey, choose him or her. Mm-hmm. So we would have to know, first of all, starting with the relationship between the woman and her boyfriend, or her spouse, whatever you want to call him. How long relationship or if it's something that they'll be able to work through. So let me ask a question to you. How long are we talking about? Like, are we talking about somebody that just met? Are we talking about a couple of years? What's the situation?
I don't know. She just said my boyfriend, so.
My boyfriend, okay. Well, I think there's a lack of trust. And you can't have a relationship without trust.
Right.
So if he doesn't trust you enough to be in a relationship with you and to be able to have this best friend, then I don't know if that relationship is going to work anyways. Because if he's not going to trust someone who's closest to you, then I don't think he's going to trust anybody. And you specifically, he's not going to trust you for, I don't know, numerous different situations and circumstances that you guys may run into. So you never need to reevaluate your relationship with this individual and find out if this is even something that's going to work long term. If the foundation of trust is shaky at whatever level of your relationship at this point. So that would be my advice. The man got to go. There it is.
The man got to go.
The man got to go.
Well, y'all heard it here first. The man gotta go.
I'm sorry, boyfriend.
Be blessed. If you see this video, my bad. It was not a suggestion. It was a SuJESStionz brothership. Okay, not me. All right. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so that's coming from a man's perspective, and the reason why I really wanted to get my brother's advice on that is because he has 2 girl best friends. Like my brother's 30. He's 30 now. He'll be 31 soon. My brother's 30 now. They've been best friends. They've been best friends since like 6th grade. One of them 6th grade, one of them 8th grade. And I know the women very well. They have husbands, they have kids now, but they're still extremely close. Now, obviously, after he got married, they haven't been as close. They're not going to the movies together or like coming to the crib to hang out alone. His wife is always involved now, but I do think it has a lot to do with trust. If your boyfriend does not trust you guys, then there might be a bigger issue. Now, if you're giving him a reason not to trust you, or if your guy best friend is giving him a reason, like, are y'all making him sometimes feel left out? Like, y'all have inside jokes that y'all are cracking and he's just sitting there in the corner like looking stupid and like, dang, what are they talking about? Are y'all going to the movies together and stuff? Like, when you have a guy best friend, and another girl asked me a question that I'm gonna answer next, but when you have a guy best friend and both you guys are both single, y'all can do whatever y'all want. Y'all can be making out for all we care, whatever. Going to the movies together, hanging out, going to picnics together, going to each other's house for a Sunday dinner, and it's all good. But once another person gets brought into it, sometimes, unfortunately, you gotta disconnect just a little bit. Still be friends. And also, it'd be really nice if your boyfriend and your guy best friend started hanging out and got close, because at the end of the day, it might not be you he doesn't trust, it might be the guy he doesn't trust. But at the end of the day, if he has 100% trust in you, then it doesn't matter if he trusts the other guy or not, because he knows that if that guy tries something, that you are gonna be the one to be like, whoa, what is going on? Back up off me, I have a man, blah, blah, blah. So, but I do think it's important to be mindful to make your man feel secure as possible. Yes, I think he should have his own confidence and like have a little bit of faith and trust, but sometimes it is hard because you might not be making him feel secure. I don't know if you're on the phone with your guy best friend and a key and all night and your boyfriend just like, well, dang, what's up? So there's a few different variables there, but the biggest one I have to say is if your man does not trust you and he's giving you an ultimatum saying, oh, you need to cut it off, like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. He can probably be like, I think y'all might be hanging out a little too much, or I feel uncomfortable when you guys hang out alone. Like, if we could, start including me, or if you guys could probably, ease off with the hanging out alone or whatever. But if he said it's me or him, that's a little messed up. But just be aware that if you break up with him after he gives you the ultimatum, it's me or him, some people might be looking at you funny, like, oh, she probably got a thing. And if you start dating your male best friend after, he's gonna think he was right the whole time. So I don't know if you got anything from that, but your man needs to trust you, and also you need to give your man a reason to trust you. Make sure you're doing what you need to be doing to, And if the guy best friend is not respecting your boyfriend, like, he might put his arm around you or like bringing you lunch or something. Like, are you sure that he doesn't like you? There's different variables. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's black and white or black or white, but the whole like, oh, you gotta choose, or like, that's foolery. I don't like that. So that brings me to the next one. This is a different question. It says, my male best friend has recently started liking a girl, and as a result, he seems to be losing interest in our friendship. Not sure what to do about that. Like I said, I think it's very normal for First of all, I'm gonna just keep it real. I don't know, in this day and age, I'm not too hype over the whole, like, my best friend's a guy, or if my boyfriend is like, oh, my best friend's a girl. It's like, a lot of times it ends up being a scam. Like 70, 80% of the time, there's a scam likely, you know, like, cause to be honest, a lot of the times, the best friends turn into relationships. Me and my boyfriend are a huge example. Like, we were best friends for like 4 years, and then all of a sudden, I told guys not to worry about him. Like, oh, he's just my best friend, and now he's not. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I think it's normal. That's just something that's gonna happen. If you have a guy best friend, he starts dating some other girl, or he's trying to spend more time. Like, it's not just y'all two no more. It's kind of reminds me of like the mom, the husband, and the wife. It's like, it's not just mother and son no more. There's somebody else involved who is gonna end up being more important. Like, if he starts dating this girl and that's his girlfriend, she's gonna come before y'all friendship. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it's gonna be. And I know when I posted that one on Instagram to give people an example, and a lot of people were saying, oh, well, y'all weren't really friends in the first place. Like, I don't believe that. Like, y'all are obviously still friends, and I'm sure he still cares about you and loves you. But he's trying to like the 100%, we'll just use the 100% as a number. The 100% he was giving you, he's now splitting that and probably only giving you 50 because he's trying to share himself and trying to put his energy into another girl. You know, switch the roles a little bit. Like, if you had a boyfriend and his best friend was a girl, yet he was still spending just as much time as with his girl best friend as he was before y'all got together, would that not upset you a little bit? It's like, dang, what about me? I'm your girlfriend. Hello? So give that man a little grace. Give him some time. The whole guy best friend and girl best friend thing can be tricky. You gotta give him a little bit of grace, okay? That man's trying to do something. He's trying to get him a little girlfriend and find him a wifey. And eventually you're gonna have to step back and understand, like, I'm not first place anymore. You're just a friend at the end of the day. If he finds a girlfriend, the same way you'd want your boyfriend to put you above his girlfriend. So that's that. All right, hey Jess. So I recently started dating someone. I met him about 2 months ago, and he wifed me up about 3 weeks later or so. Y'all, are you guys married? He wifed me up. Does that mean you guys are dating? I don't know. I'm 19, by the way. He's 27. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm 19, he's 27, and he has a 5-year-old. Okay, he's a Christian man and all. He doesn't like me cursing, but wants to have sex, and says he can't just do without it. But he doesn't want to leave me either. I'm not in love with him or anything, but I don't want him to leave because we aren't having sex. See, this is why I want to answer this question. I knew it would be quick. You need to leave him immediately. Immediately. First of all, you're 19. Are you ready to take care of a 5-year-old? That's for one. That's not even for one. For one, any man, whether he's a Christian or not, who is telling you, like, you said I don't want to have sex, but he says, well, I need sex, I can't do without it. He's not for you. He's not for you. I'm not gonna say that, oh, he's not a real Christian. He's definitely questionable, but I don't know him. I don't know his relationship with God. I don't know what he's struggling with. But for him to be like, oh, you better not say the F word, but you better come F me. Like, what? That don't even make no sense. That man, he has some maturing to do. And you don't need to be there along the way trying to help him mature, or try to help him, make him understand why you don't want to have sex right now. Absolutely not. And I really hope that this isn't too late. I hope you haven't done anything that you don't want to do. If you ever have to do something that you don't want to do to get a man to stay with you, then he doesn't love you and he's not the one for you. Please get on up out of that relationship immediately. I'm not going to tell you again. Immediately, right now. While you're watching this video, you call him right now and you tell him, I can't do this no more. And even if he says like, oh, all right, fine, we don't have to have sex. No. He already said, I can't do without it. And I'm not saying a man can't change his mind, but this sounds like some manipulative action here. Like, oh, no, please stay with me. All right, just kidding, it's fine, we'll be fine. I'll figure it out. Girl, you need to enjoy your life a little bit more before you get shacked up with some old man who has a kid. I don't think I need to say anything else. And I know that you know the answer to this question. So we reached our last question. Okay, and this is a long one too. So I've been with this guy for about 8 years and things haven't always been the best. So first of all, 8 years. Okay, all right. So a year ago he proposed and I said yes, because I feel like it's time we have a kid together. So I only feel like it's right? I could stop there, but there's a lot more, so I'll just keep going. So anyways, so in March, I went through his phone. She says, girl, I know. Anyway, so basically, he was talking on the phone to his coworker, who was a female, for hours. And when I say hours, I mean from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. Okay. And you're probably wondering how he's able to talk to her at night without me knowing. Well, since we had our son, we haven't slept in the same room. My son sleeps with me. He's 10 months. And he, her boyfriend, was the one who said he didn't want to sleep in the same bed because he was afraid he'd roll over on the baby. She said, just a little backstory. So for anyone who's not following, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, and Okay, so he tells me she's just a cool friend and it's nothing serious, but my thing is, why? So he tells me she gives him the feeling that I used to when we first started dating. And she reminds him so much of me, etc., etc. Jesus, okay. All right, so I stopped wearing my ring because why should I? Should I leave or try to work things out with him for the sake of my son? Dang, not even sake of our son, just the sake of my son. Come on, girl. All right, ... Now I have spoken to the girl. She's like, I don't like him. I'm sorry I disrespected you, etc. But the same girl texted him on Father's Day, and at this point, I'm kind of over it. Every day I look at him, I'm disgusted. I kind of just want to move on. Any suggestions? Whew, that was a lot to unpack. Okay, so basic run through. They've been together for 8 years. He proposed at the 7-year mark. They have a kid together, but for the past 10 months, they haven't been sleeping in the same room or in the same bed because the fiance said, I don't want to roll over on the baby, so y'all sleep over there and I'm gonna sleep here. And then one day, I guess she thought something was up. She went through his phone and realized that there was a phone conversation that started at 10, ended at 6. He said, she reminds me of you, girl. Baby, it's no big deal. She reminds me of you, though, but we just friends. Everything is cool. She contacts the girl, or the girl contacted her, either way, and said, I'm sorry, I disrespected you. I crossed the line. My bad. The girl texted him on Father's Day. Now she's like, this man disgusts me. I don't want nothing to do with him. Okay, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know I may look like I'm like 19 and I don't know nothing about life, but I'm actually 28 years old. I am an adult and I'm not married, nor do I have a fiance, but sometimes you don't need to be married or a fiance to give certain advice. Now, sometimes you do because you don't know what's going on, but you're just a fiance, you're a glorified girlfriend. Sorry, no, that's not right. But I'm not giving marriage advice. This is just relationship advice because y'all aren't married yet. So whenever someone's not married yet, you can really give different type of advice. So y'all are still pretty much dating. Yes, you're a fiance, but y'all are still dating. So here is the problem. Let's go back a little bit. So you guys were dating for 7 years. I don't know how old you were when you guys started dating, but dang, 7 years. It took him 7 years to propose. Red flag number 1, to be honest. And you said yes because you want to have a baby. So also, y'all are not even married yet, right? Next thing's next. Y'all are sleeping in 2 separate beds. It just keeps getting worse. Now, I will say, definitely different strokes for different folks. Again, now this is my thing. I'm not about to give any mother advice because I'm not a mom. I can tell you things that I know from seeing some moms and knowing what my mom has told me. But I do think that there comes a thing when, mothers have their child and then they start like neglecting their husband or whatever. Even though you said it was his decision. For some reason, I feel like this is not a good man. I don't know him very well, but he seems immature and something don't seem right. All right, I'm having a little bit of trouble. I keep backtracking because the whole, like when you brought a baby into it, it changes things. It's harder for me to give advice because I'm not a mom. But what I will say, that doesn't excuse the fact that this man seems like he's trash, okay? if you have a fiance, you don't need to be up at no time on the phone with no no young lady, no woman for no 6, 7, 8 hours. Yeah, that man did an 8-hour shift on the phone with his coworker. What more is there to say? I mean, I do think there's always things that can be worked out. We're both, men make mistakes, women make mistakes. It doesn't sound like, hopefully he hasn't cheated, because if I'm dating someone and they cheat on me, I don't really know what more questions need to be asked. But it sounds like emotionally, he's giving himself away emotionally to someone else. And that is how problems start in the first place. I don't want to hear, she's just a friend and she reminds me of you. Like, if she reminds you of me, then we in a problem, because you like me enough to propose and have sex with me and have my child. So what makes her any different that you wouldn't go off and do that with her? And also, if she reminds you of me, then why can't you just come and talk to me? Hello? I just don't understand. I personally feel like staying with somebody for the sake of your child or your children, it only causes more problem for the child, especially if you guys aren't happy and if the child can see that. The child is just being born and there's already problems. He was born 10 months ago and you guys are already having these issues. God forbid you stay with this man for the sake of your son and then you end up having another child and another child, and you keep bringing children into an unhappy home. It's only going to cause more problems. Your kids are going to grow up seeing mommy and daddy unhappy, hearing the arguing. It doesn't create a safe space to raise your children in. I don't ever think people should stay with someone for the sake of the kids, especially if it's unhappy. It's just not a good look. Y'all are not married. You have the green light to get up out of this relationship that already seems to be going downhill. And even from the jump, you said it's been a rocky 8 years, a rocky 7 years. I don't even want to know what's going on in the past, but it seems like it's been enough for you to, at the point where you're disgusted when you look at him. If anything, leave him for the sake of your son, okay? I do believe, I'll speak for husbands and wives, I do believe that for me, this is just for me, my opinion, I do plan on sleeping in the same bed with my husband. My husband, we are going to bed together, we're waking up together. Even if my kid is on the other side. I'm not in it, and I know 8 years is a lot of time to throw away. So this is why I would say, like, try to work it out, see if you guys can work it out. But this man also sounds like he's not really a good man, and I don't know, maybe the spark in the relationship has died. Does he love you? Do you still love him? Don't force something just for the sake of your child, because it's not going to work out well for him. They're going to grow up in an unhappy household, and that's not what you want for your children. You want your children to see you happy, and you want your children to see good examples of a good relationship. So, nothing is ever too damaged to be fixed. 9 times out of 10, nothing's ever too damaged to be fixed. But there's still that 1 time out of 10 where it's just like, girl, you better go on, get up out of here, go. No. Girl, I'll just say, if it were me, I'd have to bounce up out of there, dog. It's a no from me, big dog. It's a no from me, period. Anyways, you guys, I'm so sorry if you sent me a question and I did not get to it. I'm so sorry. But make sure you're following me on Instagram, and if when we do this again, you can send me the same question and I'll try to get to it next time. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to me talk for however long this video is. Love y'all so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.